Hey guys, and welcome on into another episode of Picks on Net, NHL Picks and Stats. I'm your host, Terry Edelmann, at TE Picks over on X. And of course, if you're looking for premium plays, head over to picksandparlays.net. Direct link right to my capper page is pnp.buzz/TE for all premium plays. And I'm ready to break down the Tuesday slate. We've got a bunch of games to go over today, 11 games on the slate. So we will get right started with that here in a minute. No recap because the last show that I did here, the last live show was on Friday. There, I did do a pre-recorded show for Saturday, Sunday. Overall, though, Thursday, Friday, nice winning days. Small losing day on Saturday. Unfortunately, Sunday was bad. It was very bad. But bounce back day yesterday on Monday. So now it's Tuesday. And as I said, a bunch of great spots on the board today. I could easily have 25 plays on today's slate. But of course, I'm not going to do that. We are selective. Had to eliminate some plays off the card, but I'll let you guys know when we get there what those plays were. But before we get right into the slate, over on the website right now, as I mentioned the last few shows, the best deal is the Hat Trick All Access Pass, $49. You get all NHL plays for 3 days over on the site. And right now, number one capper since November in the NHL. I've got a 4-star NHL best bet up on the site today and a player prop as well that you can go and get over on picksandparlays.net. pnp.buzz/TE. We will start with the first game, and then we'll jump into the slate afterwards, or jump into the comments afterwards. Pittsburgh and Boston. Black and gold everywhere here in this one. Pittsburgh plus 100 road dogs. The Bruins minus 120 home favorites, and a total of 6.5 here in our first game. And taking a look at how these two teams do against each other. It's pretty one-sided. Boston, 8-2 in the last 10 meetings between the two teams. They've had a lot of success against Pittsburgh in recent years. And 4 consecutive games going under 5.5. So we've actually seen some very low-scoring games between these two when they played each other. Looking at goalies here, Stuart Skinner confirmed for Pittsburgh, and Jeremy Swayman confirmed for Boston. Swayman slightly better numbers than Stuart Skinner overall on the season, but not by as much as you would think. 2.76 goals against average for Skinner, 2.89 for Swayman, 890 save percentage for Skinner, 902 for Jeremy Swayman here. How are these two teams, how are they doing heading into this game? Well, Pittsburgh's won 3 of their last 4 games, 3-0-1. 2-0-1 since the break. So they have obviously been without Sidney Crosby for these 3 games. 4-1 win against New Jersey, 3-2 shootout loss to the Rangers, and then a 5-0 win against Vegas in their last game. Boston, the other side, they've lost 3 of 4. Heading into the break, they lost back-to-back games in a shootout, 6-5 to Tampa Bay, and then 5-4 to Florida. They came back after the break, beat Columbus 4-2, but then lost to Philadelphia 3-1. So looking at this one here, this game is obviously being played in Boston. Boston 22-8-1 at home this year. When I look at this game from a side perspective, the draw. I think if I was to bet something here side-wise, it would be the draw for this game to go to overtime. I don't want to bet against either of these teams right now. Pittsburgh's playing very well right now and showing in these recent games that they're not in a playoff spot just because of Sidney Crosby. Of course, he's having a great year, but it's the team in general that's in a playoff spot right now, and it's not all because of Sidney Crosby. Then Boston on the other side, both of these teams have really exceeded expectations. If you told me that both of these teams would be in a playoff spot, that I would be breaking down this game in March and both teams would be in a playoff spot, I probably would have laughed at you because these two teams were supposed to be two of the bottom feeders in the league, but both in a playoff spot. When I look at it here, draw. I think this game could go to overtime. Do have a draw on the slate, which we'll get to a little bit later on. Did not pull the trigger here on this one. And then player props. It's how it goes. So you take a player and they don't cash for you, and then you don't take them the next game and they usually cash. And that's exactly what happened with Chinnikov here. Took him anytime goal against the Rangers, didn't score, came back out, 4 shots on goal and a goal against Vegas. Igor Chinnikov has scored in 4 of his last 7 games. Oh, sorry, 4 of his last 6 games. And overall, 6 of his last 10. So Chinnikov has been on a heater right now. His anytime goal prop is plus 300, plus 350. So there is a ton of value on Igor Chinnikov. If I was going to bet something in this game, it would be Igor Chinnikov anytime goal. But unfortunately, it didn't make my card here. But a sprinkle plus 300, plus 350 is definitely worth it here. In this one, point props with value. Anthony Mantha has a point in 5 games in a row, 9 of his last 10 for Pittsburgh, plus 100 for a point. And that's about it for point streaks. Goal streaks, obviously Chinnikov. Arvidsson has scored in 3 of his last 5 games, plus 270 for the Bruins. And then assist streaks, McAvoy had his assist streak snapped in his last game, but 4 of his last 5, 7 of his last 10. He's minus 110 for an assist here in this one. Comment, share, subscribe, like. Thank you, Subaru. I appreciate that. What's up, Terry? Had a decent day yesterday. Hit a Brad Clark goal at plus 625. So that helped out. Very nice. Very nice, Sweet Pickles. Novak anytime goal plus 452. Okay. Great value there. Who is this Crosby person you speak of? Oh, I don't know. Some guy. Some guy named Crosby. I don't know. Maybe people haven't heard of him, but no, I'm kidding. But we'll continue on along with our next game, which is the Vegas Golden Knights and the Buffalo Sabres. I should have started the show off with mentioning I really like the end of the slate. So if you're watching this game, if you're watching this show pre-recorded later on, thinking, oh no, it's getting late. It's past 7 o'clock. I missed all Terry's plays. No, you haven't. I like all the later games for free plays. So at the end of the show, the rest of the game on the slate segment, I'll be breaking down some of these earlier games that I skipped. So don't worry, you'll still get a breakdown for them. Vegas plus 125 road dogs, Buffalo minus 150 home favorites, and a total 6 here in this one. Kind of like our first game, if you told me that Buffalo would have been minus 150 favorites against Vegas in March, again, I probably would have laughed at you because this Buffalo Sabres team was not supposed to be in a playoff spot at this point. And this Vegas Golden Knights team, with the roster they have, should be a lot better at this point. I know they're leading the Pacific Division, but barely. All these overtime losses for Vegas have really piled up. They've disappointed overall this year, but despite that, still leading the Pacific Division. Looking at previous games between these two, Buffalo 4-1 in the last 5 meetings, 4 of the last 6 going over 6.5. We've seen very high scoring games between these two teams. Buffalo 5-1-1 all time at home against the Vegas Golden Knights, and 3 consecutive meetings in Buffalo going over 6.5. So very high scoring games when these two teams face each other. Usually Buffalo finding a way to get the win here in this one. Looking at goalies here, Aiden Hill unconfirmed, Alex Lyon Akira Schmid likely for Vegas now, and Alex Lyon likely for Buffalo Sabres. Lyon has the better numbers overall. 2.69 goals against average for Lyon, 2.55 for Schmid, 895 save percentage for Schmid, 913 save percentage for Alex Lyon. And Part of the reason why the Sabres are where they are is because they have been getting some consistent goaltending recently. When I look at this game here, like I've mentioned on previous shows with the Buffalo Sabres, they're kind of a difficult team to bet player props for because they have guys throughout the lineup. One day it can be Alex Tuch, Tage Thompson on that top line having a great game. The next game it's going to be Zucker, McLeod, and Quinn, or even Doan and Josh Norris on the third line. There's just so many areas for offense from the Buffalo Sabres. But right now, the most consistent guy is Bowen Byram, who has a point 4 games in a row. He's plus 150 for a point here. You might just want to go with an assist because the points he has had are assists. Plus 195 for Bowen Byram to get an assist here for the Buffalo Sabres. And if you're looking for a goal prop, Dorofeyev had his goal streak snapped. Tage Thompson did score in his last game. Tuch has scored in back-to-back games. But if I was getting to a goal prop here, it would be Jack Eichel. Eichel has scored in all 4 games against his former team, the Buffalo Sabres. A hat trick in the first game, and then each of the other 3 games, he has scored 1 goal. Looking at Eichel's shots on goal against Buffalo, 7 in the first game, 8 in the second game, 7 in the third game, but only 2 in the most recent meeting. He still scored on one of those 2 shots. So if I was looking at a goal prop here in this one, it would be Jack Eichel. I believe Mark Stone is not playing here in this game, so that will be a loss for the Vegas Golden Knights here in this one. Other streaks, not a whole lot. Basically, in this one, goal streak, I would look at Jack Eichel, or a goal prop, I would look at Jack Eichel, and then a point assist streak, I would look at Bowen Byram here in this one. Let's go to the chat. Let's see here. You go, dude. Thank you, Mixter. Hope all is well. Never heard of Crosby? Yeah, me neither. Who is that guy? Norris plus Dome point combo plus 180. Not a bad look. I really think, and I mentioned, the first game, these two didn't get a point together after the break together, but I really think this is going to be a great combination. If Norris can stay healthy, I think Norris and Doan are going to be a great combination. So, yeah, I like it. I agree. I like a lot of the late games myself. There we go. Alex Tuch, anytime goal plus 210. Yeah, he scored a back-to-back games. And this playing his former team. As well. Sabres over 6, minus 120. And Sabres team total over 3.5, plus 116. I could see that. Aiden Hill or Kirishmi, doesn't matter. They're Sieves. Yeah. The Sabres have 4 goalies, UPL, Lyon, Ellis, and Levi. Share some of the wealth. Hey, I won. Lyon and UPL have been really good for the Sabres, so I wouldn't switch anything up if I were them. But now we'll jump into the first of the later games. As I said, don't worry. I'll be breaking down the earlier games at the end of the slate. But we've got the Dallas Stars and the Calgary Flames. Dallas, minus 135, road favorites. The Flames, plus 115, home dogs, and a total 5.5 here. This one, thank you to the Dallas Stars. I had their team total over 3.5 up on the site yesterday as a 4-star play, 4-unit play, and they scored 6 goals. So really got the 4 goals I needed and got a couple more as insurance. Now, second night of a back-to-back, they face this Calgary Flames team. How does Dallas do against Calgary, you ask? Well, 5-1-2 in the last 8 meetings. They've had a lot of success against Calgary. 3 of the last 5 have gone to overtime. So we've actually seen some close games between these two. But the big stat is 8 of the last 10 meetings between these two teams have gone over 6.5. So not over 5.5, over 6.5. Tend to get very high scoring games between these two teams. And I know it can be kind of scary to take an over with this Calgary Flames team because their offense is not consistent. Looking at goalies here, Casey DeSmith confirmed for Dallas, 12-4 and 5, 2.31 goals against average, 912 save percentage. And actually recorded the loss against the Flames earlier this year. 3-2 shootout loss. He stopped 31 of 33 shots. So he was actually great. And that was a rare low-scoring game between these two teams. In the first meeting, Dustin Wolf confirmed for Calgary here in this one. When I look at this game here, it's been a while. It's been a while since we've got to this player's prop. But one of the hottest players to start the season, goal-scoring wise, cooled off a little bit there, started going on an assist streak, but now he's red hot again. Give me Jason Robertson, anytime goal here in this game. Why am I taking Robertson anytime goal? Well, he scored in 4 of his last 5 games. So red hot, finding the back of the net. Leads Dallas in points with 70 and 34 goals on the season, but really likes to face the Flames. For whatever reason, he's scored a goal in 7 of his last 9 games against Calgary. So Dallas does tend to do well in this Western Canada trip. And Robertson, one of the players that likes to play on this trip, scored against Vancouver there last night. Loves to play the Flames. So give me Jason Robertson, anytime goal, plus 135 here in this one. Other players you could take in this game. There are others. Point prop, Thomas Harley. Took him yesterday to get a point. Did not cash for us. Not taking him today. So Harley's probably going to get a point. Plus 135 for a point here in this one. But the player to watch here, if you wanted another player that's not named Jason Robertson, is Matt Duchene. He's been really great recently, but especially against Calgary. Points in 7 of his last 8 against Calgary. And he has an assist in 7 of his last 8 games against Calgary. So really racking up the assists. And if you look at what he's done recently, has an assist in 4 of his last 5 games. So Duchene assist around plus 140 is definitely not a bad play. Duchene has also scored in 7 of his last 9 games. So he's scoring, he's assisting, a lot of success against Calgary. So the point prop is minus 145. I think that's a great parlay piece. He has multiple points in 4 of his last 5 games. He has 2 points in each of those, in 4 of those 5. So absolutely red hot right now. But I'm not on his props because I feel like I should take the assist, especially because his assist streak against Calgary. But the goal prop is plus 300. I could split the two, but I have so many plays on today's slate. So ultimately, Duchene did not make the card, but don't be surprised to see him have a big game here against the Flames. Amir Heiskanen assist 6 games in a row, minus 115. He has been on a heater assist-wise, so I would look at him. And for Calgary, nobody. I don't bet Calgary props because hardly anybody goes on any kind of streak for the Flames. So, yeah. Flames not a team I'm really looking to bet props in, but we'll see. Maybe I'll get to some later on in the season. I bet Dallas live in the first and got them at plus 110. Very nice. Very nice. I like Dallas again tonight. They look good right now. You can get them on the exchanges for minus 125. There you go. Yeah, and they do. They're on a 9-game win streak right now, the Dallas Stars. And they do have some tougher opponents coming up. So they have had an easier schedule, but they've got the job done during that schedule. Over 5.5, yeah. I can't talk you off that. 8 of the last 10 between these two going over 6.5. Cannot talk you off the over. Some familiar faces in here. Awesome, Ben. Or Benji. Wyatt Johnston did nothing last night. Yeah, that happens. He was on a bit of a heater before that. Dallas is 7-2 on the second half of back-to-backs this season. 7 of the 9 have gone under. Uh-oh. Calgary's 9-1 to the under this season against teams who have a goal differential of 40 or greater. Dallas 69. So JD is saying maybe hold off on that over because some understats. So there you go. I'm not on the over, but I could see goals here. I could see goals. But we will continue on along to our next game, which is the Ottawa Senators and the Edmonton Oilers. Ottawa, plus 100 road dogs. Edmonton, minus 120 home favorites, a total of 6.5. Here in this one, no confirmed goalie for Ottawa yet. Should be Linus Ullmark, who's now 17-8-6, 2.8 goals against average, 885 save percentage. Connor Ingram confirmed for Edmonton, 7-6-1, 2.75 goals against average, 893 save percentage here in this one. And here for me, giving you guys a side play here in this one. Give me the Sens, money line plus 110 here in this one. And basically, the Sens are the much better team right now. Ottawa, 6-1-1 in their last 8 games, but still find themselves 5 points out of a playoff spot. So, yeah, they're 6-1-1, but they cannot let their foot off the gas pedal. Still 5 points out of the final wildcard spot. Ottawa's got consistent goaltending from Ullmark recently. 3-0-1 in his last 4 games, giving up 2 or fewer goals in all 4. Edmonton, on the other side, they've lost 5 of their last 6 games, and they are giving up a ton of goals. They've given up 4 more goals in their 5 losses, and they've given up 5 or more goals in 4 of their last 5 losses. Not going to win many games when you're giving up 5 goals. Now, Edmonton has an offense, so they are going to win some games when they give up 5 goals, but that's not a recipe for success. And they've been struggling recently. Now, you guys know I love my past history stats. It's definitely something I really do consider when betting a side or total, but I'm willing to overlook it here. Now, Edmonton has won 6 of the last 7 between these two teams. So the Oilers have had success against the Sens in the past, but I really like the way the Senators team's playing right now. I really like what I'm seeing from Ottawa, and I don't like what I'm seeing from Edmonton. I'm sure Edmonton fans agree with me. They probably don't like what they're seeing either. And it's not like goaltending in Edmonton is some new issue that has never come up before for the last 15 years. But it's still an issue. 15 years later, it's still an issue. So would not talk anyone off looking towards goals in this game. If you don't want to take the Sens on the money line, you could look at their team total. I do think that is a good play here in this one, but I'll rock with the Sens as a road dog here in this game. Guys on streaks point-wise with value. McDavid over 1.5 points, 3 games in a row, minus 120. Matthias Ekholm has a point in 3 games in a row, 7 of his last 10, plus 193. Great value with him. Goal streaks. Leon Draisaitl and Jake Wallman have both scored in back-to-back games in 3 of 5. Plus 140 for Draisaitl, plus 800 for Jake Wallman. So if you want a big plus money prop, I would look at him. Power play point streaks. Sanderson for Ottawa and Tim Stützle for Ottawa, 3 of their last 5 games with the power play point. And Bouchard, Draisaitl, McDavid, the 3 you would expect, all power play points in 3 of their last 5 games. All plus money for a power play point. The Sens do not have a good penalty kill. I've seen the 28th or 29th ranked. So power play point props, not a bad look here. Assist streaks with value. Ekholm 3 games in a row. Jake Sanderson back-to-back games with an assist. Ultimately, no props here for me. We're just going to rock with the Sens as a road dog to snap their losing streak here against Edmonton. Let's see here. Not the better team. I would disagree. Give me Oilers. I'm not saying necessarily the Sens are the better team overall, but recently they are. They are. Dang, you got a good number on the Sens plus 110. I'm seeing the minus 105. Yeah, the line's moving. The line has been moving a lot. And that was this morning I got them at plus 110. Oilers better team. Give me home team. Nice stat, West Coast. There you go. But we will continue on along with our next game here, which is the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Minnesota Wild. The Lightning, minus 140, road favorites. The Wild, plus 120, home dogs, and a total of 6 here in this one. How have these two teams done against each other? Well, it's very one-sided. Minnesota, 9-3-1 in the last 13 meetings between these two teams. They've had a lot of success against Tampa Bay, despite Tampa Bay having a very good team year after year after year. The Wild have had their number. Looking at total games recently, 3 overs, 1 under, and 4 pushes for a total of 6. So a lot of the time, this total does finish with a 6 between these two teams. Looking at the matchups between the two in Minnesota, Tampa Bay does not enjoy heading to St. Paul. The Wild have won 11 of the last 12 between these two teams in Minnesota. 2-2-2 to a total of 6. So 2 overs, 2 unders, 2 pushes. Again, this game probably finishes with 6 goals. So most likely 4-2 in some fashion. But when I look at this game from a side perspective, people are going to say, he's on the Wild, isn't he? No, I'm not. I think if you are going to look at a side play here, I think the draw is a great play. Both of these two teams are off back-to-back losses, and both of these teams are off embarrassing losses. Tampa, 5-4 loss to Carolina. It was the second night of a back-to-back. Johansson was in net. You faced the Hurricanes. 5-4 loss. That's nothing to be embarrassed about. But then 2 nights later, after that loss to Carolina, the Lightning go and lose 6-2 at home to the Buffalo Sabres. Now, the Buffalo Sabres are a very good team, but losing 6-2 to a division rival who was on the second night of a back-to-back themselves, when you were rested and you were off a loss, that's a bad loss. Vasilevsky getting pulled in that game. The Wild on the other side, kind of same deal. 5-2 win against Colorado. A big win against the Avs the next night. Lost to Utah 5-2. Should have bounced back in their last game against St. Louis, but lost 3-1 to the Blues in that game. So both teams have lost back-to-back games. Both teams off embarrassing losses. I think we get the best from both teams. So I think the draw is a great play. Here in this one. Yes, I do think the Wild probably get the win in overtime. Just such a dominant history against Tampa Bay. However, my play here for this game is Kirill the Thrill, anytime goal, plus 130 here in this one. Why am I taking Kirill? Well, there's a few reasons, actually. First, he's on a heater right now. He scored a goal in back-to-back games and 7 of his last 10, 2 multi-goal games during that stretch. But in the last game against the Blues, he was the only one to score a goal in that game. He tied Marian Gaborik for the all-time Minnesota Wild franchise lead in goals. Gaborik had 219 goals with the Wild. Kaprizov now at 219. So at home here, he can break the franchise record in goals. He can do it against Andrei Vasilevsky, assuming he starts here, and against a guy he's looked up to in Nikita Kucherov. So that alone would have me on Kaprizov anytime goal. What has Kaprizov done against Tampa Bay, you ask? Well, he scored a goal in 4 of his last 5 games against Tampa Bay, 3 multi-goal games during that stretch. Loves to face the Lightning. Probably likes to play against Kucherov and Vasilevsky. At home here, often embarrassing game and can break the team franchise record in goals. Give me Kirill Kaprizov anytime goal, plus 130. This is a 2-unit play for me. By far, my favorite prop of the night. Kaprizov, anytime goal, plus 130. The Lightning have allowed a power play goal in at least one power play goal in 6 consecutive games. Don't be surprised to see Kirill get this goal on the power play at some point for the Wild. Looking at other players on streaks here, Matt Boldy is on a 10-game point streak. Great parlay piece for him. And then goal streaks, Boldy 3 of 5. Plus 160. Kaprizov, obviously, I mentioned already. And then for Tampa Bay, Nikita Kucherov and Braden Point, both on goal streaks, 3 of their last 5, but did not score in their most recent game. Power play point streaks. Boldy, 5 games in a row with a power play point, plus 160. Kaprizov, 8 of his last 10 with a power play point, plus 150. Quinn Hughes, 8 of his last 10, 4 of his last 5 with the power play point, plus 130. Assist streaks, Matt Boldy, 6 games in a row, 9 of his last 10 with an assist, plus 100. Darren Radish for Tampa Bay has an assist in 4 of his last 5 games, plus 100 here in this game. But, the chat's going crazy on this one. Okay. Let's see what the chat thinks here. Draisaitl has 9 goals in 10 games versus Allmark. Plus 140. Sign me up. There we go. Very nice numbers there. If Oilers score, it will be McDavid. Yeah, I could see that. Boldy score last goal 3 of the last 4 games when the Wild were a dog. Okay. And I'm not taking Boldy. I took Boldy. Did I take Boldy in the 10 goals last game? I'm pretty sure I did. And I'm not taking him today. So he probably scores. Why I didn't take him is because obviously he's on that assist streak. But I really feel like Kirill, he wants to break the record here. He was asked about how he felt tying Gaborik in the last game, and he said great. And obviously, he enjoys that. But Kaprizov doesn't like to talk about this type of thing. He would absolutely love to get this out of the way, especially against Vasilevsky and Kucherov. But that doesn't mean Boldy can't score as well. But if I had to choose one, obviously Kaprizov. Edmonton power play goal in all 3 games out of the break. 4 goals, 8 attempts. Edmonton number 1 power play. Ottawa 30th on the PK. They've scored a power play goal in each of the 7 meetings. And 7 meetings in a row. Minus 130 for a power play goal at DK for Edmonton to get one. Very nice. Very nice stats there, JD. Honestly, instead of taking the minus 135 for a power play goal, I would just look at those 3 for a power play point at plus money. Because all 3, I think McDavid's plus 100 for a power play point, but if they're getting a power play goal, I would be shocked if McDavid does not get a point off that goal. So if they score, it'll be McDavid. All right. Kucherov has a goal in 10 of his last 12 road games. Wow. There you go. Weird timing for me to come in to watch the show when you're talking about your team. Hey, it happens. Tampa plus 1.5 and over 5.5. Bolts have only 8 losses this season by 2 goals or more. I like it, especially because I think it goes to overtime. So if you like it to go to overtime and you think it'll go over the total, which a lot of these meetings, as I said, finish with 6 goals, this is a very good parlay by JD. I like it. So glad we are off Braden Point with Tampa Bay. He's been good for us, but liked the video and hyped the video. Thank you, GSF. Go Stars. Robo plus Grill goal parlay. Stars money line Wild plus 1.5. Ooh, I like that. Especially the Robo Kirill goal parlay. I like it, GSF. Wild money line Kaprizov over 1.5 points. All right. Brandon Hagel goal plus 195. All right, don't hate it. Braden Point has 3 goals and 3 versus Gus plus 160. All right. Oh, speaking of goalies, let me go. No confirmed goalies. Gustafsson unconfirmed. Vasilevsky unconfirmed here. So fitting for a guy who's about to make the most money for any player who has played for the Wild and any player in the NHL. Starting next season, Kirill will be the highest paid player in the NHL. Over 6 minus 120. Yeah, but probably you might be looking at a push, but hey, push doesn't hurt you. If this was to go to overtime 3-3, obviously you would get your over. I feel like overtime is the play, but not on the draw as of this moment. But this is going to be a great game to watch. Tampa and Minnesota, two great teams. And so is this one. Colorado and Anaheim. Colorado minus 150 road favorites. The Ducks plus 125 home dogs. A total of 6.5 here in this one. This Anaheim Ducks team is playing very well right now and kind of flying under the radar a little bit. But this is going to be a tough game for them. This is a tough opponent for the Anaheim Ducks. So the Ducks enter this game on a, bear with me for a second. 5-game win streak, but 12 of their last 14 that they've won. So on a big streak, but back-to-back or 3 wins in a row, very close. 6-5 against Edmonton, 5-4 overtime against Winnipeg, 3-2 shootout win against Calgary. So very close games for them. Colorado, they've won 4 of their last 5 coming into this game. Back-to-back wins, 3-1 against Chicago, 4-2 against the LA Kings yesterday. Thank you to the Avs. Their team total over 3.5 as a premium play on the site yesterday. And boy, was that close, but they got the 4 I needed. So thank you, Colorado, for that one. I said it's going to be a tough opponent for the Ducks. And why did I say that? Well, Colorado, 16 wins, 1 loss, 3 overtime losses in the last 19 games between the two teams. The last 20 games between the two teams. Colorado's won 16 of them. So they've had a lot of success against this Ducks team for a long time. However, the Ducks have been a rebuilding team for a large portion of those years. But now we're starting to see all this young talent. The Ducks have taken that step forward here. 4 consecutive games going under 6.5 between these two, and 4 of the last 9 have gone to overtime. We've seen a lot of close games between these two. And the Ducks, back-to-back games having gone to overtime. Colorado hasn't gone to overtime in a bit, so there's that. So, again, here's another game where I would kind of lean with the draw. This Ducks team might be down in the third period here against Colorado, but I could see them battling back, getting this game to overtime, where Colorado probably gets the win. If we look at previous history, the Avs probably get the win. But really heavy draw history between these two teams, so I would not talk anyone off looking at the draw. Let's see here. A point streaks. Marty Natchez has 2 or more points in 4 games in a row, plus 167. He definitely has some value. Goal streaks, Cutter Gauthier, 4 of his last 5 games with a goal, plus 205. Natchez, 3 of 5, plus 170. And Leo Carlsson has scored in 3 of his last 4 games and in 5 of his last 6 against Colorado. So Leo Carlsson has had a lot of success against the Avs, plus 210 for him to score a goal here. And then assist streaks, I should be going back to him. Jackson Lacombe, he's faced Colorado 7 times and never got a point against them. So hasn't been a team he's enjoyed facing, but an assist in 8 of his last 9. He's cashed 2 best bets for us on recent days here on the show. So if you're looking for an Anaheim prop, Jackson Lacombe assist. I'm seeing it around minus 105 here. That's what I would play here in this game is Jackson Lacombe to get an assist. But with the numbers against Colorado, will keep me off. Will keep me off his point prop here in this one. Let's see here. Hey, Terry, love your show. Great info. Go Avs, go. Thank you, Sean. I really appreciate that. Thanks for watching. Ducks' last 3 wins were third-period comebacks. First team since Florida in 2021 to have 3 consecutive third-period comebacks at home. Wow. Can they make it 4? That's incredibly tough to do. To have 3 third-period comebacks in a row. they might run out of gas. That would be my only worry about the Avs here. 5 goals in 7 games versus the Avs. Yeah, Leo Carlsson likes to play Colorado. So I would not watch it be a Carlsson goal assisted by Lacombe. That's what I could see happening here in this one. But final game of the night before we get to the rest of the games on the slate segment. And then, of course, my best bet for today's show. The Montreal Canadiens and the San Jose Sharks. Montreal minus 130, road favorites. The Sharks plus 110, home dogs, and a total of 6.5 here between these two. Montreal 5-2 in the last 7 meetings between these two teams. They've had success against the Sharks, but kind of like Anaheim, but even more. The Sharks have been a rebuilder for quite a few years now, and they've been the worst team in the NHL for a few years now, but not anymore. Montreal, also the kind of same deal. They've been a rebuilding team, but a little bit ahead of the Sharks in their rebuild. So 2 years ago, this would have been a really bad game that nobody would have wanted to talk about. But in 2 years from now, this could be like the game of the night when we break down this game in a couple of years. Here in this one here, so back-to-back games over 6.5 between the two teams. The previous 6 all went under. So 2 high-scoring games recently, a lot of unders before that. The road team is 8-1 in the last 9 between these two. So home ice advantage isn't really a thing between these two teams. And 2 of the last 4 meetings have gone to overtime. Give me the draw at plus 320 here in this one. The Sharks went to overtime in their last game against the Winnipeg Jets, a 2-1 overtime win. Meanwhile, Montreal, 2 of their last 4 have been they went to overtime. Both losses. They won their other 2 games, but they're both the 2 overtime games for them, both 4-3 losses. 4-3 loss against Minnesota, 4-3 loss against the Islanders. I think we get overtime here. So give me the draw. This will be a close game between these two. And give me goal Caulfield. Anytime goal plus 130 here in this one. Caulfield has scored in back-to-back games since the Olympic break, and he's also scored in 9 of his last 12 games. Extremely consistent this season scoring goals. And what do you love to see when you're betting a goal prop? Someone who's shooting the puck. Caulfield, at least 4 shots on goal in 6 of his last 8 games, and a lot of games recently with 5 shots on goal. He's also scored a goal in 3 of his last 4 games against the San Jose Sharks. So give me goal Caulfield, anytime goal, plus 130 here in this one, the final game of the night. Ducks have won 8 straight at home. Yeah, they're on a big hot streak at home. Great information, Benji. Misa for the Sharks for a point is plus 155, and he's somebody that's definitely caught my eye. Michael Misa, the last couple of games, he scored in back-to-back games. Don't be surprised to see him score for the Sharks here. If I was getting to a Sharks prop, it would be Misa here. Scored against Edmonton, scored against Winnipeg. 3 shots against Edmonton, 2 shots against Winnipeg. This is another one of those players on the Sharks that's going to be a very, very good player for the Sharks, Michael Misa. But still a young player learning. But yeah, definitely good luck. Good luck for sure. Is it Saturday? No, it's not Saturday, but I'm still taking Cole Caulfield anyways. He doesn't just score on Saturdays. He scores on other days too. But yeah, I feel you, Robert. I feel you. 4 points in 3 games. Montreal lets goals in. All right. Yeah, he's been hot. Every day should be Saturday. There you go. His OT winner was nasty. Yeah. This kid has a lot of talent, and the Sharks have a ton of guys with talent. They're going to be extremely dangerous in a few years, especially when Oilers fans, plug your ears for this, when McDavid signs with San Jose in a couple of years. That's my prediction. McDavid to San Jose in a couple of years. So there we go. Edmonton fans probably going to leave me some hate comments, but that's okay. That's okay. It happens. Other games on the slate, games that I did not break down. Here, of course, early ones. Florida and New Jersey. Florida 4-2-1 in the last 7 between the two teams. 4 of the last 5 going under 5.5. I don't want to back either of these teams, Florida or New Jersey. They're both teams that are kind of on my fade list, both playing each other here. Bear with me for 4 of the last 5 going under 5.5. Florida has been a high-scoring team recently, but the Devils have not. The Devils coming off a 3-1 win against St. Louis, where they finally scored more than 1 goal. They've scored 1 or fewer goals in their last 4 games. So finally the Devils able to score 3 goals. Not interested in this game. If I was getting to something here, it would be Jack Hughes to get an assist. Seeing at minus 120, 4 of his last 5 games with an assist, 7 of his last 10. So I would look at Jack Hughes. Goal streaks, not a whole lot. Same with power play point streaks. Yeah, basically in this one, Jack Hughes assist. Nashville and Columbus. Nashville 5-1 in the last 6 meetings. 3 of the last 4 going over 6.5. So high scoring games. And this series, home ice does matter. The home team 9-1 in the last 10 between Nashville and Columbus. I think Columbus wins, but what are they, minus 150 in this game? Columbus is minus 140, so a little bit out of my price range. Do think the Jackets get the win off a overtime win against the Rangers yesterday, and the Nashville Predators off back-to-back losses, 3-2 in overtime against Dallas, 4-2 against Nashville in their last game. Columbus probably gets the win, but I don't like the price on them, so I will pass. Looking at player props, let's see if we have anybody to mention here. Goal streaks, Adam Fantilli, who was Mr. Assist earlier in the year. Right now he's Mr. Goal. 3 games in a row with a goal, plus 240. Forsberg and Stamkos both have scored in 3 of their last 5 for Nashville. I bet Stamkos yesterday. He didn't score. I'm not taking him today. So don't be surprised to see Stamkos score. Coyle has an assist in 4 of his last 5 games, plus 145 here in this one. And Fantilli, 3 of his last 5 with an assist, also has an assist in 2 of his 3 games against Nashville. Utah and Washington. Utah/Arizona. 3-1 in the last 4 meetings between the two teams. 3 consecutive over 6.5, so high scoring games between Utah and Washington. And the road team is 6-1 in the last 7 meetings. So home ice, not really a big thing for Utah and for Washington. But of course, these two teams only play each other twice per year. That's why I'm bringing up Arizona stats still here in this meeting. So this one I think is really tough. I kind of want to back both teams, but I don't really want to bet against both teams. So ultimately, Utah and Washington is a pass. Looking at players on streaks here, a lot of guys 3 of 5 with a point, but not any kind of big streak. No goal streaks here. No power play point streaks. An assist streak, Clayton Keller, 4 of his last 5 games with an assist, plus 116, and he has an assist in 3 games in a row against Washington. So Clayton Keller assist could be a good look here, but other than that, not much. And then final game of the night that I did not break down, Chicago and Winnipeg. Why didn't you break down that game, Terry? Because why do you think? 2 teams that aren't going anywhere this season. Winnipeg 12-1-1 in the last 14 games between these 2 teams. They've had Chicago's number, although I believe Chicago did win the most recent meeting, 2-0 in Chicago between these 2 teams. What was 2-1-1 to a total of 6 here between these 2 teams. Winnipeg has gone to overtime in 4 of their last 5 games. So they've been a draw machine recently, but no interest in playing this game. I don't even think we have any Streak Tyler Bertuzzi has a point in 4 of his last 5 games, plus 105. Teuvo Teravainen, 4 of his last 5 games, plus 130. Goal streaks, Kyle Connor, Connor Bedard, Gabriel Velarde, all 3 of their last 5 games with a goal. And that's basically it here in this one. Go to the chat, and then we'll get to the best bet segment. Let's see here. McDavid owns a winery in Napa, so San Jose makes sense. Kidding. Okay. Bowen Byram, you actually had me there. Bowen Byram, if the Sabres 4 points in 5 games, plus 150. Yeah, he's red hot right now, Benji. Red hot. BetOnline just added first goal score props. Finally, there you go. Kirill Marchenko has 4 goals in 6 games against Nashville. All 3 goals in 3 games against the Preds. Expected starting goalie, Justus Annunen. There we go. So Marchenko. Stamkos, Yossi, each 2 goals in 2 games versus Greaves. There we go. Stamkos will probably score. He will. If Werenski plays, then throw him in a parlay to reduce the juice, maybe even for 2 points. Yeah, he's been red hot recently as well, but dealing with a sickness or something. So Graph point, plus 170. Great value there. Teravainen has been strong of late, like a lot of returning Olympians. Goal. There you go. Terry hates people from Chicago, Winnipeg, plain and simple. Not true at all. I might not be a fan of the Chicago Blackhawks as a team, but no, I definitely don't hate anybody from I don't hate Chicago and Winnipeg games. But if Logan Stanley's on the top power play for the Jets, plus 132 for a point, I know he's been hot in the power play recently. I know. But the Blackhawks do have a very good penalty kill. So I would stay off of that. But now we go to the best bet segment, and we've been having some success with the best bet segment, so hoping to keep that going here today. I've given you guys 2 plays here on the show today that are 2-unit plays. Ottawa Senators money line and Kirill Kaprizov anytime goal. So obviously one of those 2 are going to be my best bet. Pretty easy decision. Give me Kirill the Thrill anytime goal, plus 130 to break the franchise record in goals against Tampa Bay and Vasilevsky and Kucherov, who he's had a lot of success against. This is my favorite bet that I've given out here on the show. Kirill Kaprizov, anytime goal, plus 130. But that's today's show. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Let me know in the comment section below who you like on today's slate. And if you're looking for premium plays, head over to picksandparlays.net, pnp.buzz/TE. Best deal on the site right now. The Hat Trick All Access Pass, all NHL plays for 3 days for $49. We'll go into the chat here. Scary Terry, my dog. How's it going, UFC? It's not a PP point. It's a regular point. Okay. I get it. He's on the top defensive line with Connor. Okay. Nice. Terry the GOAT. Thank you, UFC. Thanks, Addison. Appreciate it. Respect his name. Thanks, UFC. I appreciate that. Best of luck tonight, everyone, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for another episode. Picks on Net. Thanks for watching, guys.